man. It's Wednesday morning. It is 10:19, Belize jungle time. It's overcast here. It's nice, a little humid. Mosquitoes are out, so we're trying to stay indoors a little bit, best that we can. Awesome day. Just got done ripping through the great book of wisdom, and it's pretty amazing. I was reading this passage, and it's just rattling around in here. And it says, whoever loves a pure heart and gracious speech will have the king as a friend. Whoever has a pure heart, who loves a pure heart and gracious speech, man, you'll have kings as friends. Why? Because you're able to speak to people that think differently than you, and your heart can stay pure. Something that's alarming and troubling to me recently is what's going on social media. If you don't want to wear a mask and you post that, suddenly everyone who wants to wear a mask thinks that you hate them, and vice versa. We've lost the ability to reason with one another. It's like if we poke our head out of our little echo chamber. Y'all know what an echo chamber is? It's when you just live in this little tiny world and all you hear is what you like. When you poke your head outside of that echo chamber, other thoughts and ideas scare the bejeebers out of you. Man, can't you see what's happening in our world and what the enemy is trying to do? The media is trying to do, what Satan's trying to do. He's trying to keep everyone in their echo chamber, because if he can do that, when you pop your head out, there's automatic division. I love to have people, a lot of people on my social media and people I talk to don't think the way I think. And I like that because it's able to let me hear perspective from outside of the way that I think. I know what truth is. I'm going to continue to go with it from the great book of wisdom. And I have close surround guys around me and women who are filled with wisdom to speak into my life. But I want to hear the perspective of others because they matter. And there may be some things that I need to change in my life that I hear from them. I may be viewing it differently. One thing that I've learned living in a different culture for almost 20 years of my life now in Eastern Europe and now in the jungles of Belize is that just because we speak the same language doesn't mean we're saying the same thing. And we've had to learn to listen and understand the cultural differences. And you know something? After 18 years in this country, I still don't understand everything that they're saying. So I have to listen, and I have to respect, and I have to love them and see what they're coming from. And then I can base an opinion on it. But let me say this to you. I will never side with pedophilia. I will never side with human trafficking. I will never side with evil. That's wrong. This is not what I'm saying. I'm not open to that. Because it's gross, it's wrong, and it hurts society and it hurts people. The drug cartels, the mafias, all these people, you cannot tell me they do good. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is old high school friends that think differently than you, and if you post anything counter to what they believe, you're suddenly this bad guy. What have we become? It's a reflection. You know, they say that art imitates our life, and I look at the riots, and now we say riots are protesting, destruction of people's stuff is okay, and look at the divide between the two communities. There's actually 3 groups, but 2 are the most vocal. Pro-rioting and anti-rioting. The pro-rioters say, hey, they're expressing themselves. It's their right to destroy. The anti-rioters will say, no, it's other people's property. You don't understand. That's not protesting. There's divide. But the group that scares me the most is what Elie Wiesel said. Because of indifference, one dies before one actually dies. You see, when we get stuck in our echo chambers and then we peek out and we hear what other people say and we don't like it, and then we think our voice doesn't matter or it doesn't really matter what we say anymore, we become indifferent to the cause and we shrink within ourselves and we just don't care anymore. And we die before we actually die. No band, listen to me, it's no ordinary men. Band of brothers, hear me in this. We are to be the life the world needs to see. We are to be the freedom fighters, the men that rise up in the pursuit of God because we've been set free to change nations, to change our families, to crush indifference. Because indifference is the same as evil. It wants to take your life and make it meaningless. Let's give the next generation hope by being able to dialogue and listen and have great conversation. If you're so afraid that someone will change your mind on some kind of stance that you have, then you're weak, and maybe you need to hear that other side of the dialogue. Or maybe you're not as convinced as you think you are. You just like being in that group. But it doesn't matter what group you're in. What matters is that we don't lose the love for each other. Because indifference breaks down society. And when society breaks down, we're in deep trouble. As a matter of fact, our passion is for family. It's for you men, no ordinary men, to get back in the homes and become the husbands and fathers that you were intended to be, to do extraordinary things, to re-engage with your children, to redo everything, to make it right, to live an adventure, to fight a fight. But for some, indifference has made you say, what does it really matter? I might as well just work, drink, and play. That is not what we are about with No Ordinary Men. Let's work so that we can have a cold one together. We can play together. And we can inspire generations to come in Jesus Christ. That we can crush indifference. We can crush evil. And we can live, because that's what we're about as No Ordinary Men. Expand the dialogue, guys. Get out there. Enjoy the conversation. Don't get frustrated with people. Be extraordinary in it and own it. Win everything, boys. I love you. Out from the jungle.